Guess who's back? Back again. I am back. Oh God, no, that's Rolf Harris. And I'm back. And so are you. Back together. It's like we've never been apart. No, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling some serious Before Sunset vibes. Let's get to it. This is the second video in the soon-to-be vaguely memorable What's Their Chop series. And this is where I highlight the work of somebody that I believe hasn't received the recognition that they deserve. I'm going to choose 3 roles of the selected subject and attempt to bring this should-be megastar to the forefront of your mind. Sure, maybe they've received some critical acclaim, maybe you've seen them in something and your internal monologue has gone, yeah, they were good. But have you awarded them the time to seek out their other work? Have you allowed them the opportunity to show the studios that their name can sell a movie? Have you even remembered their name? No? Well, you should have done. And if you have, well, good for you. But don't get cocky. Just because you've chucked a £5 in the charity box doesn't mean the pandas are saved. Other people need to know. So, spread the word. And this week, the words are Michael Shannon. Repeat after me, lodge it in your muscle memory. Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon. This absolute titan. This behemoth. This behemoth. Behemoth? Behemoth? Behemoth. This behemoth. This behemoth. This behemoth of a performer. This behemoth. Behemoth. Giant of a performer. This character actor of the highest calibre rarely rolls off society's collective tongue when thinking about the finest actors working today. And he really should. With countless impeccable performances under his belt, picking 3 was no easy task. For example, wearing a face not dissimilar to a slab of weather-beaten concrete, his masterful handling of his role in 99 Homes allowed Mr. Shannon to somehow emit a sense of sympathy and understanding, whilst carrying out the truly awful duties of the greedy real estate operator. Scorn and vitriol are of course the instant feelings that he evokes from the audience, but the manner in which he gangles across the screen and the slight shimmerings in his eyes is a masterclass of how to add depth to a character that in somebody else's hands could well have ended up as a sort of one-dimensional Lex Luthor type villain.
Only 1 in 100's gonna get on that ark, son. And every other poor soul's gonna drown.
But, although rightfully earning him a Golden Globe nomination, this movie does really belong to the lead, Andrew Garfield. And I'll reckon, generous as he is, Michael Shannon knows this. He steps back. You know it. So, worthy of a quick mention, but not one of the roles that I have decided to include in the 3 performances that could be used to showcase his career. Without further rambling, let's get going. The first movie in the recommended selection of Sir Michael of Shannonville is Midnight Special. Directed by Jeff Nichols and released in 2016, Midnight Special sees Michael Shannon take on the role of Roy Tomlin, father to a boy with a unique gift. A gift that has drawn the attention of the FBI, the NSA, the CIA, you know, all the US big hitters, and a not-so-Christian in attitude religious cult.
Police issued an Amber Alert for an 8-year-old boy. He was abducted from his home near El Dorado, Texas.
It's time, you ready?
Yeah.
In this supremely under-talked-about sci-fi gem, Michael Shannon displays his wondrous ability to perform on the literal psychological edge. A man filled with total desperation who will do absolutely anything for his child.
I'll always worry about you, Alan. That's the deal.
This is a movie with an embarrassment of astounding performances. Joel Edgerton, for example, notable in his support role. But Shannon in the lead, is simply mesmerising. The manner in which he moves from states of calm and methodical thinking to bouts of rage and blind panic is scintillating. And it is upon his coattails that we are pulled through this absolute rollercoaster of a movie. Moments of wonder, beauty and majesty are peppered with bloody violence, mistrust and terror. All these emotions beamed at us through the eyes of Shannon's Roy Tomlin. In a movie that doesn't breathe but gasps on the continual premise of no turning back now, the need for something stable for us, much like Roy's son Alton, to cling on to is imperative. And with continual collaborator Michael Shannon, director Jeff Nichols has found his rock. It is worth noting that Michael Shannon has appeared in absolutely every single one of Jeff Nichols' movies. And Jeff Nichols factually has never made a bad film. Am I saying that these two factors are related? You darn tootin' I am. Next up, Revolutionary Road. Okay, so back in 2008, they had an idea to reunite acting leviathans Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio for their first time since that little-known nautical flick, Titanic. It was to tell the emotional tale of the heartbreaking collapse of a seemingly perfect marriage, delicately balancing gender-based opinions and reactions, while simultaneously highlighting the negative impact of stereotyping, and yet the need for the understanding of the unavoidable socially instructed norms of the 1950s. They also decided to chuck in regular ace cards Kathy Bates and Catherine Hahn. I know what you're thinking. Blimey, yeah, and they got Sam Mendes to direct it as well. Crikey, I hear you say. Well, that sounds like it would have scooped all the Oscar nominations. Well, no. Art direction and costume design, and Best Supporting Actor for a certain perp named Michael Shannon. And boy, did he deserve it. Now, this is in no way suggestive that everyone else in this film is bad. Far from it. They're all brilliant, across the board. It's just that Michael Shannon is on a different planet. In the role of John Givings, an ex-patient of an insane asylum, Michael Shannon excels. In a constant state of unpredictability, Shannon's John Givings shines like a lighthouse on the jagged cliff edges of life, as Winslet and DiCaprio's characters try to navigate the treacherous seas of matrimony. Winslet using Givings' ramblings as guidance to shore, with DiCaprio using it for the opposite and pulling the ship back out to sea. A movie jam-packed full of dialogue and human emotion, the fact that the only character who ever tells the truth is deemed insane is perfectly poignant.
You must give him a pretty bad time if making babies is the only way he can prove he's got a pair of balls. You fucking...
No! He's not well, Frank!
Despite only being on screen for, 10-15 minutes? Michael Shannon puts in a truly unforgettable performance. He wastes not one word, not one tick. Every utterance, every movement are meticulously executed. This is his Joker. His Lisbeth Salander. An incredible role, cast absolutely perfectly. Good work, people. Look what you can do when you try. Rounding off this trio, Take Shelter. Did somebody mention powerhouse male performance? If so, and you're not talking about Robert Redford in All Is Lost, or Christian Bale in The Machinist, or even Kevin Bacon in The Woodsman, Sam Rockwell in Moon, or, say it quietly, Ryan Reynolds in Buried, then you must be talking about Michael Shannon in Take Shelter. And if you aren't, it might well be because, unlike those names, you don't remember this one. Which is kind of the point of the video. Now granted, this film has much larger roles for the supporting cast than the aforementioned movies do. But after watching Take Shelter, I can guarantee you'll struggle to remember any of them. This is Michael Shannon's movie. He doesn't just steal it, he might as well strip it and sell it for parts right in front of everybody. Such is the unstoppable manner in which he careers through this film. Kinda comparable to the storm his character Curtis LaForge is adamant will soon arrive.
There is a storm coming! Like nothing you have ever seen! And not a one of you is prepared for it!
Released in 2011 and directed by his old chum Jeff Nichols, once again, Take Shelter tells the story of a man who is plagued by apocalyptic visions and questions whether to shelter his family from an impending storm or from himself. Comparisons to Midnight Special could be drawn here as Shannon investigates another character balancing on the psychological edge. As Curtis LaForge battles with his own sanity and the desperate and overwhelming need to keep his family safe, we are rewarded with a tour de force of acting chops. Or should I say, a tour de force of acting chops. Such is the measured manner in which Shannon controls his performance here, we the audience are truly sucked into his being, struggling with the notion that this might be a man losing his mind, but equally possible is the fact that this is a man whose desperate warnings are being ignored, and that would have catastrophic consequences. I'm telling you, it is truly thrilling. We are either in a race against an unstoppable force of nature or a rapidly deteriorating mental state. There's no good outcome here. This is a disaster movie taking place in the mind. It and Michael Shannon are truly astounding. Seek it out. And there we have it. 3 roles that perfectly encapsulate the might of Michael Shannon. It is interesting to note that there is a constant theme running through these 3 roles. The notion of sanity and how psychological pressures can bring out a person's natural instincts. In Revolutionary Road, John Givings is deemed insane from the outset, although the only thing that he could really be found guilty of is adhering to his natural predisposition to speak his mind and not be restrained by society's expectations of politeness and refrain. In Midnight Special, Roy Tomlin is driven to the brink by outside forces that are threatening his family. And in Take Shelter, Curtis LaForge is driven to the same verge, but the pressures in this instance are emanating from within. Now, these subtle differences show quite how remarkable a performer Michael Shannon is. While many lesser actors might not be able to distinguish the ever so slightly varying characteristics, Michael Shannon revels in it. Laying behind the eyes is a wealth of knowledge that he drips out onto the screen in delightful measures. And other roles in his filmography that should have elevated him to the level of superstardom are relentless. Shotgun Stories, another Jeff Nichols movie. The Shape of Water, Nocturnal Animals. Yep, got another Oscar nod for that too. Premium Rush, The Iceman, Bug. The list goes on. So, if this name wasn't associated with this face, go remedy that now. Or maybe just press pause.
What would they say if they knew it was Michael?
I refuse to live in a world where so many people do not know the name Michael Shannon, and where Jaden Smith is actually a thing. And before we discuss putting down Jaden, wouldn't it be simpler if we all made an effort to remember Michael Shannon? As fun as watching Jaden Smith drift off might be. Kidding. Laters. You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go. Well, actually, make sure you like, subscribe and hit the bell. That way you will not miss any notifications for future videos. Also, why not go find me on the socials? Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. There'll be a link tree somewhere around there. You can also catch me on the Cool Kids Film Club, so why not seek them out as well? Cool Kids Film Club on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and they might be on Twitter. They're on TikTok. All details will probably be in the following title card. Now you can go.
I did that.